As a petrol head, of course, cars are a big passion for me, and driving is simply more than getting from A to B. It's a sense of release, a sense of freedom, and sometimes an absolute sense of euphoria. Another passion of mine is mental health, so I thought for this year, for Mental Health Awareness Week, I'll combine the two with a new series called Feels on Wheels. Yes, the name is a bit corny, but the idea is very simple. I'll go out for a drive with someone else from the car community and talk about all things mental health. This series is in collaboration with Ben, the automotive charity that provides support for those working or have worked in the motor trade. So if you are affected by any of the issues in this video, or just any mental health battles, and you work in the automotive trade or have worked in the automotive trade, then please reach out to those guys. I'm sure they'll be able to help. Anyway, I need a vehicle for the series.
And what better car to do it in than my very own Mark 1 turbocharged Mazda MX-5, otherwise known as Monique. For me, she is happiness with an engine and a turbo fitted. So without further ado, let's jump in and meet our first guest. So then, of course, I'm joined by very good friend and fellow YouTuber, PocketRockets. Why are you strangling me? That's not a nice way to start. I thought we were friends. Why are you strangling me? Just because? Okay.
Hello, already. Mwah.
No, not here, Chris. Right, so if you don't know PocketRockets, please, Chris, introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Chris. There you go.
I mean,
I'm going to wind you up today.
This is the first episode. This is meant to be punchy, engaging. Come on, give us more, man.
I'm Chris, and I'm from PocketRockets. Probably the most dead YouTube channel ever. Yeah, if you already know me, you'll know that fact is true because I don't post very much. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, mate. There's a lot of pressure here. There's a lot of pressure.
Okay, so
considering I had a boxing fight last weekend, and I think I was more calm in that situation than this. Can you believe that? It's mental, isn't it?
So the first question I'm going to ask you, I'm going to be asking.
Actually, no. Let me do another take. I'm Chris. I have a channel called PocketRockets, and I like cars. Is that better?
Not really, no. It's still a bit nondescript. Right, so I'm going to ask you the first question.
Yes.
Obviously the first question. I'm going to be asking this to every guest. What does mental health mean to you?
Oh, God. That's a good question, because it's not something that you get asked very often, is it? I'd say it's a challenge, because it's something that you deal with, whether you actually physically know you're dealing with something mentally, every day. And I've gone through it, and I'd say there's actually positives and negatives to it. And people will say, what, positives to mental health? Yes, because like any challenge,
that's one of my GoPros.
Brilliant.
As much as I was able to get my GoPro back, needless to say, as you can see by these photos, it was beyond repair. Hey-ho, is one of those things. It's just part and parcel of being a YouTuber. Sometimes you will lose or damage your equipment. So yeah, we move on.
So yes, you're saying about positives and negatives of mental health, which I think is a good thing to say, because people hear the word mental health and assume it's all doom and gloom, it's depression, anxiety, when it isn't.
Yeah.
There is a flip side to mental health as well.
Yeah, exactly. As I said, it's a challenge. So I've over the last year have taken challenges on to better myself, not just physically but mentally, in terms of all aspects of my life, not just my physical being, who I choose to be around. I think that's one of the big things that a lot of people struggle with. They are around people that bring negativity.
Yeah, the people that are toxic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that straight away changes your life around so much without really having to do much. Just taking people out of your life that you don't need. It sounds very brutal, but in the grand scheme of things, for people to live a prosperous and successful life, that's generally what you have to be. You have to be quite brutal. Because you have to sort of be selfish in a way, not completely and utterly selfish. You obviously got your family and your close friends, and you want to help. Like for me, I used to help a lot of people out, and not like I wanted anything in return, but there was a lack of respect. And in the grand scheme of things, it was never destined to be a good friendship. So yeah, with a challenge, you got to take the positivity of it and go, well, my mental health, for example, my mental health's not in a great state. Just hypothetically, I'm in probably the best state I have been in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
But you go, oh, I'm physically not fit. I feel very fat. I feel very lazy. Challenge: get yourself in the gym, motivate yourself, change your life around just by going to the gym every day, doing something. Whether if you're very overweight and you can't go and do things like running, because I know like carrying extra weight is not great when you're doing runs. Go for a walk, long walk, especially on days like this.
Yeah, it's beautiful today.
Yeah, get some vitamin D, and honestly, instead of sitting indoors, binge watching TV shows and being a brokey, get out and actually go and do something with your life. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, and people often think that you have to go and do something extravagant to change your life. Doing the simplest things and having goals makes such a difference in terms of changing your life around very slowly. And when you do things like that, you feel a lot of people, like even myself, when I was training for my fight, like I was very unfit at the start, and I thought, I'm never gonna be able to do this fight. And then you fast forward 4 months, and I lost 10 kilograms.
Yeah.
And I was as fit as a fiddle, and like you saw me in my fight.
You did well, mate.
I had a stitch in the 3rd round, but I said to my coach straight away, I was like, let's do another 3 straight away.
Yeah.
I think that was more adrenaline, just being an absolute weapon.
Yeah.
But in the same regard, I walked away from it, even though I got a draw, which I was very annoyed about, because I thought I won, and to be fair, everyone else around me said I won. You get that gratification. Yeah, okay, it was 3-4 months later, but you've still done something. And what I'm now finding is that I have no goals. I've sort of had my sort of dedication to the fight for the last 4 months.
Yeah.
And now that's over with in the space of 10 minutes. That's because that's what the fight was in general. It's like, it's completely gone. I'm like, what do I do with myself?
It's strange, isn't it? I compare it, it's similar to, I know it's something completely different, but a wedding or Christmas, there's a lot of build up to it. And then you come to the main event, and it just flies by in the blink of an eye. You think, blimey. And I think I'm not here to talk about myself, because that's why I've got guests, but I think one of my biggest problems is that I struggle to live in the moment. My mind is always looking backwards or looking forwards. It's never just it's never content with just where we are right now.
And I think that's a great way for me to come back. Like I'm a lot like that. I feel, especially when something goes wrong, I like to like dwell on it and not move forward and just accept it. Like for example, that camera fell off the car. If that was my camera, I'd be like. I'd be angry, and I'd let it stew, and it pretty much consume most of my day until at some point I'd calm down and get on with it. But instead of just going, the camera's broke, move on, I'd let it like literally consume me, and like it's no good, because at the end of the day, it's just a camera. It's replaceable, isn't it?
Exactly. And the old me, I would have been very upset right now, but it's a case of
whereas you're like that's another thing as well. When you've got good people around you, you pick up and you learn things. So like for you, for example, you're literally like straight away back to filming. You've completely forgotten about it. So
it's done now. I can't change the past. I can learn from it, but I can't change it. So what's the point of getting down about it? And just to go back to what you said a few moments ago about taking steps, I think that's a really important thing. I think too many people, they get themselves, probably us included in the past, they get themselves in a rut, and they see this happiness as an aim on top of a big mountain. You think, I can't climb that. But it's not all about, it is about the end destination, but it's taking little steps, isn't it? Just take one step at a time, each day at a time. It's cliche, I know, but you have to set yourself little goals, and they all equate to a big goal.
And being brutally honest, a lot of people aren't willing to sacrifice. They do the same day-to-day things, and they're afraid of coming out of their comfort zone. Again, coming back to boxing, I was bullied in school. I was picked on. I'm a small guy.
I hadn't noticed.
And yeah, I got picked on in school, and I never thought that I'd be getting in a ring in a professional sense. No head guards, like gloves that are smaller than I've been training in ever, getting hit and taking punches and giving them back. I never thought I'd do that, and that's all because I took myself out of my comfort zone. And I had people around me that were even saying, "No, you can't do this. I don't want you to do it." Like, because obviously it's a dangerous sport.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're willing to take yourself out your comfort zone and push yourself constantly, 9 times out of 10, yes, you're going to have failures, but life is all about learning and going through that. You don't have successes all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, doing the small things, like just getting up off the sofa and just exercising every day, doing just push-ups or sit-ups, doing that every day, and you'll actually see the difference. And a lot of people in this day and age now, they want things fast. They want it just like that. Like, even in a financial sense, that's the biggest thing, because at this moment in time, well, I mean, everyone going, "Oh, we're in a recession." I mean, it hasn't been great for years and years and years. It's just getting worse. So, but people just expect things to happen financially, just like that, and people don't understand that. Again, you have to sacrifice and put in the hard work to get a result. Do you get what I mean? And even then, you might not be successful the first time. You might have to do it the second or the third time until you get it. So
yeah, and we live in a world of convenience where everything's at your fingertips. If you want food delivered to you, just a few clicks of a button, and it's a great thing, but also a bad thing, because it's made us impatient.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
we expect things to happen right away, and it's also made us lazy.
Yeah, definitely.
And don't get me wrong, we're all culprits. The amount of times where I could just jump in the car and go to the shops and go, "No, I'll just go on Uber Eats, get something delivered to me." So we're all prone to it. But yeah, unfortunately, because we live in a world where you can just get so many things almost straight away.
Yeah.
When something's delayed, or when something doesn't quite happen when it's meant to, all of a sudden it feels like the world's ending. When in fact it isn't. It just means that the new trainers you've delivered are coming tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's a shame, because the whole thing of mental health is obviously, it's getting more. The awareness is obviously getting more out there now.
Yeah,
but
which is great.
I feel we're our own worst enemies, and we bring it upon ourselves as well. That's what I found with myself when I suffered, when I did, and you knew about it when I did. And like, I know with you hold things in most of the time, and you don't talk. And when I talk to you, I've known you for years. So that's, again, when you've got good friends around you and they can pick up on, like, oh, he's not in a great mood, how he talks, what he's doing, his mannerisms, everything like that, and you pick up on it. And that's obviously down to, it's annoying because we're so far away, but at the same time, I think us having a long distance relationship, we're not constantly talking, but when we do, we have conversations and we catch up and stuff, and I think that's a general good balance for someone obviously long distance.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's all these distractions in the world, and it's
too many.
Yeah, and you've got to have a strong will to, like, get round them, and you've got to see it before you get enticed into it. It's a very impulsive thing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So, as much as it's not a good thing to look back at bad times, but on the same hand, it can be, because you think, that's where I was, this is where I'm at now. So a bit of a more delicate question. Think back to a time when you're, arguably at your lowest of lows. What did you do to get out of that, and what advice would you give to people watching this video?
It was a long process. I think that the main thing was just surrounding yourself by good people. I had so many things going on, and I thought that was the best step to start straight away. Just distance myself from people and just sort of get myself, like, people say, oh, you need to talk to people, but there's only so much talking we'll do to get around things. Like, you, as I said, you have to be proactive in yourself, because only you can change the bad to the good, if that makes sense.
No, I get what you mean.
Yeah, like, it's great, and I recommend, obviously, talk to your friends and stuff, but there are still a lot of people that don't understand it and are dismissive to it. And I understand. I play devil's avocado here.
Avocado?
It's a meme.
I see.
I get the people that are dismissive to it, like the old school and the people that haven't necessarily struggled with that sort of side of things. I do get it, because to some degree you manifest the mental health issues yourself. And this is where I come back to that, although you can talk to people and do all these things, like, it's down to you to get out of it. And as I said earlier, I think the best way that I got out of it was just fitness, going for like a run. There's a lot of people I know that hate going for runs. I think probably you are one in question. You probably don't like running.
I don't mind it. It's just nowadays my knees can't really take it.
If you do it left, mate.
Well, particularly my left knee can't really take it.
Yeah, but I mean, when I say run, you don't have to be like Usain Bolt doing like a 400 metre sprint in like 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, there's people that do just like slow paced jogs.
Yeah.
And you can do it for a long distance and just keep that pace up. And when you go for a run, you're on your own. You've got your own space and your own head. And when you've got demons going on, then you go for a run, you just kick all those demons' asses. And then when you get back, you feel like, oh my God, I feel so much better. It's like every boxing training session. Like, you imagine I was doing like 10-hour days at work and then going to do an hour of training, sparring, getting your head punched in an evening, when ideally you want to go home and just chill. But you have to like pick yourself up, motivate yourself to get there. And then when you finish with that hour's training session, you go, what was I even like moaning and trying to motivate myself? I feel $1 million. Do you got what I mean? If you go straight over, mate. Yeah, it just makes such a difference. And in the grand scheme of things, okay, I did an hour of training, but it's the easiest thing to do. There's not really much to it. Okay, when people are at different fitness levels, it's either easier or harder to do. But ultimately, even if you're doing a solid hour of training and you struggle and you're absolutely rubbish at everything, you're rubbish at a press up, you're rubbish at skipping, you're rubbish at throwing a punch on a punch bag, ultimately you're still there and you're still doing it. So it's an achievement. So that's what I mean by having small goals and just tackling them day by day.
So, kind of knowing what you know now,
yes,
what advice would you give to a younger version of you? And it can't be betting tips, because that's cheating.
Take more risks.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that answer.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
I'd say I've never been a great social person. I've never had a real big group of friends. And to be fair, I wouldn't actually change that element of it.
Yeah.
Because I feel it's a saying in the Greek community. Many snakes in a field becomes more evil, and I haven't said it right, but I hope you get the terminology of it.
Yeah.
But the less people you have and the closer knit people you have around you, you can see it, and you're a little bit more broader around you. And as soon as you see something that you don't like, you can deal with it a lot easier and quicker, as opposed to if you've got lots of people. The more people around you, there's more things that hide, and you sort of miss things. But in terms of the risk things, just going out there and doing more. Like, I wish I did YouTube earlier, and as opposed more recently, I wish I was a bit more consistent with like filming.
Yeah.
And I think it's a bit too late for me now to be more consistent, which sounds stupid, mainly because it's very intoxicating, even in the passenger seat. Actually, I'm going to rephrase that. I want to be more consistent, and that's another challenge that I'm going to get to. I just want to post more. But for me, I'm OCD and a perfectionist, and all the stuff that I want to do are just outlandish, very big ideas that not only require a lot of time, but require a lot of money.
Yeah.
And the problem I have is that I always see the end result. So like, if a video doesn't do very well, I'm very disappointed, and I'm like, all that time I spent in it, and I didn't really get anything out of it.
Yeah.
But now with our new channel, those two car guys, a lot of bloody ambulances and police today, isn't there? But now that we've set up our own channel together, I think we're now taking more risks in terms of content ideas. Like we're actually doing things that we want to do, and we don't really care about whether it does well or not. Like I mean, the cheap car estates, I mean, financially it wasn't a lot of money to do,
No.
but in the grand scheme of things and the usual content we do, it was a lot more money. It's probably like 150% more on what we spend on a normal video filming a new car, for example.
Yeah.
So I wish I took more risks, went out there a bit more, just enjoyed life, did more like traveling, like just going to different countries and stuff, which I still want to do. Obviously I haven't got a big family, I haven't started a family of my own yet, so there is still time to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it, to be fair. Just go out there. Like, I wish I actually probably boxed earlier as well, because I think that if I did that, I'd be a bit more disciplined, and I wouldn't have had those demons, or those dark demons that I had many, many years ago.
Yeah.
I would have probably been able to succumb them and put them 6 feet under, as opposed to letting them like fester and live how they did. Because I was suicidal, mate. There was one point where I was in the car and I felt that I just put it into central reservation right now at stupid speed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was how dark it was.
Yeah.
And it was horrible, mate. And although I don't want to bring it up, it's good to bring it out. And
it is, and that's ultimately why we're here.
Yeah,
to talk about difficult subjects.
It was reality at one point in my life, and I don't ever want to go back to that. So as I said to you at the beginning of this video, I think like mentally and physically and everything, like obviously physically I'm not done yet. There's so much I still want to do with my body and stuff, but like I'm at a point where I'm very happy. I've got a lovely missus, obviously got mates like you around me that not only want good for me, but I truly want good for them as well. Yeah. And that's the other thing, like we were saying about being selfish, but there's also a gratitude to seeing people around you do well as well, and that actually elevates you. Mate, the mind is mental, and I don't think we'll ever fathom like how powerful it is.
No,
and
it's a very potent tool which sadly a lot of people just don't utilise to its full ability.
But if you are watching this and you're in a little bit of a low, honestly, just like the simple things like diet, cut out processed food. Like when you're shopping, like try and eat local as well. Like fruit, veg. Like I mean, I cut out all chocolate and sweets and substituted it for fruit. So pretty much all I eat every day is like fruit most of the time.
Yeah.
Like like for me, you as well. You could probably learn from this, because I know you've got a bit of a sweet tooth. Like cutting out like the cakes and sweets and stuff.
That's never going to change.
And having fruit is such a good, like pineapple is very sweet. So you imagine if you like a Tangfastic Haribo, for example, which is not an ad. And probably never.
Other sugary sweets are available.
Yeah, and cut it out and have pineapple. I'm not saying everyone likes pineapple, but it's just a very good difference in terms of sweet and the fruit. Obviously pineapple's very sweet. Having that, you feel a little bit. You don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
So when I was in training camp, it's just fruit and just like watching what you eat. So like cutting out everything processed, like frozen food, all the crap that you get in supermarkets, and sitting there and looking at the ingredients on food. So like when you're in the supermarket and I'm a sado looking at like a tub of yogurt, for example.
Yeah.
And then you look at it and you see ingredients that, if you see ingredients that you can't pronounce, you know it's not good. Like that's the easiest way to describe it. So like,
what you mean to tell me you can't pronounce vanilla?
No, you know what I mean. Like chemicals that have some next name. You're like, what? You're like going foot, what, like that. Yeah, you just know that. Stay away from it.
Yeah.
So diet and just exercise. I think those are the two things that I think most of the guests that you'll have on, or pretty much everyone that wants to change their life, will say that those are the things that you can proactively do. Anyone can do it. There's no excuse to it. You can't go, oh no, sorry, I can't go for a walk. Why? Well, you've got 2 legs. Why can't you go for a walk? Well, I've got things to do and all that. What things have you got to do? When you start hearing people trying to create excuses, that's the big problem.
Yeah.
So, and then that's where if you're around people that are not proactive and not wanting to change their life, it's unfortunate. Like, just distance yourself away from it, because they're not. The more you're around it, the less it's going to help you, and then you'll go backwards in yourself. As I said, mate, the mind is a powerful thing. Honestly, it is.
So let's bring things to a bit of a close now, and of course this is an automotive channel after all, and you are of course an automotive person.
No cars have been mentioned in this video till now.
Well, Monique obviously.
Apart from the car we're in.
So here's a little fun question to kind of end things with, because it's been a very heavy conversation, but which is fine, because that's why we're here.
Yeah.
But it's nice to end on a lighter note. So if you were to go out on a drive to boost your mental health, to make you feel happier, what car would you choose, and which road would you drive, and why?
See, that's a hard question, because I'm a bit of an avid car collector these days, and I
know you. Last time I checked, I think you got about 87 cars.
Call me Auto Chris.
Yeah.
That's actually a difficult question, because I've got many cars floating around in my head right now that I'd like to, but I think the one car that I mentioned to you earlier, which you probably know now what I'm going to say, I'd say a Porsche Cayman GT4.
Yeah, good choice.
It'd have to be.
Good choice.
And
what road?
What road?
M25.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. That's not a bad shout. No, the world's biggest car park, that place. Again, there's roads floating around in my head.
I find this in these situations, it's always best to go with what comes to your mind first, because that's probably your first choice. So go with your gut, go with your first reaction.
I'd say somewhere like Switzerland, like the San Benito Pass.
Yeah.
Like just places like that where there is literally no one around you, and you can hear everything and you can feel everything.
Yeah.
I think that alone, like, I could even run up that pass and I'd still love it.
Yeah.
So it takes the car out of the equation, even though you'd rather be in a car. But I think that's what's so special about places like that. Obviously, we need to do it at some point.
Yeah.
Because honestly, you've never experienced anything in your life. Like, I mean, we've done roads like Buttertubs Pass.
Yeah.
All in the UK, of course. But I think when you go into Europe and you go up Swiss Alps and French Alps, there's just nothing like it, mate. There is nothing like it. And it's a cliche thing, but like for me, like I don't do it often these days, because you can't really enjoy driving these days, which is a very sad thing.
Yeah.
But like getting in a car, getting in the Fiesta or getting in the 140i and just going for a quick blast, it's so good, mate. Honestly, it's so good. And it's a shame that the way the car industry is going, it's going to be, well, you're already seeing the effects of it, but the more it goes on, you're going to see the less and less the lack of character happening, where people can't get in cars and enjoy them.
Yeah.
And you, as I said, you're already seeing that now. Like just the quality of the roads. I mean, there's holes for days everywhere.
You want to come to Worthing, mate? The potholes there are.
It was funny.
Yeah.
I saw a picture on Facebook. I don't know. You might have seen it of a road, and everyone's got like there's pools of water, and everyone's like sunbathing.
Yeah.
And, like,
I saw that.
Yeah. No, it's unfortunate what's happening to all the roads, and it's the traffic, and then like when you're doing stuff like me, where you're commuting to work every day, it literally drains like all excitement of driving.
Yeah.
So it is nice to get a group of mates together, which I want to proactively do again this year. I want to get like mates out, whether it's just me and you or a few other people, and just go for a drive.
Yeah.
And just enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? Like just go for a coffee somewhere and just end the day there.
Yeah.
I just think, that's what I'd say as well. Like if you're a car guy or girl, just go out to car meets, and even if you don't meet anyone, or you meet one person and you have a good chat with that one person, that will change your day in the most positive way possible, I think.
Agreed. Well, Chris, it's been, as always, a good chat.
Once again, a massive thank you to Chris, aka Pocket Rockets, for his time and for joining me on this project. Stay tuned for Wednesday, when I'll be chatting with Kevin Pearce, one of the owners and directors of Cedar Garage. See them.